August 2019, State Street, in partnership with Harvard, released the paper Decarbonization Factors, which explores decarbonization factors in investing. And you had a huge contribution to this. We want to speak about that, but first, we want to know, how are institutional investors, so the funds and the individuals, the members behind those institutional funds, how are they driving interest in ESG investing, in green bonds, and that sort of thing?
There's an increased number of investors who see climate change as an economically significant event, not just in the long term, but affecting portfolio performance now.
So you talk about what Europe is doing and the regulation that we're seeing there versus the U.S. Not as much regulation, as you pointed out. One thing I think that I'd love to talk about, one way Europe is responding to climate change specifically is by instituting a pricing system for carbon emissions. So could you tell us more about that system and how businesses are impacted? And also, what does it look like for America? Could that possibly be the case here? I've heard rumblings about establishing some sort of pricing system. So do you see that coming about soon?
Having a price on carbon, when carbon is something that's material to your operations, really provides clarity on these economic externalities and how that's actually hitting your impact. It's quantifying it and it's putting it on your balance sheet. So that's, from a company perspective, it's quite real. And from an investor perspective, it only kind of helps clarify this integration of environmental metrics into valuations.
Just lay out for us, just to frame this, what was the objective of decarbonization factors? So what did you set out to prove? And then, as you were saying, what did you prove? Even some things that you maybe didn't set out to prove, but you found. What came from that paper?
How you decarbonize matters. Those least restrictive, most aggressive low-carbon strategies, picking the best firms across the market, produced the strongest alpha over time.
What do you see as the big idea that's going to really take us by surprise in the future?
What's kind of the big idea is to dive deeper and really scope research so that we understand and can quantify the relationship for an ESG factor, an E factor, an S factor, a G factor, with other factors in the market. And so that allows us to identify and let us really create bespoke strategies to drive alpha for different portfolio managers and investors in the space.